And he said, I found the car I wanted, had the down payment, had everything. He's the reason I had to change how I think. He said, man, Munch, I know you cut hair. He said, where your tax return?
They need to see it. I know it. But
I'm
they
quiet.
Don't know. Yeah.
He said, I know you cut hair.
Yeah.
I sit in your chair.
Yeah.
He said, but you ain't filed no taxes, man. He said, you got the down payment. You got money in the bank. He said, but this car you want, I want to give it to you, but I can't prove your work.
Yeah.
He said, when I send it up to underwriting, they're going to start asking questions. And I wasn't legit. That moment, that heartbreak made me make some adjustments and started, restructuring and setting myself up properly. So I can, and 2 years later, all these years later, I ain't never looked back.
Chip on my shoulder. I got something to prove, like a gun in a holster. Loaded, ready to shoot. Got big energy. Ain't scared to dream. Got big energy. Got big energy.
You know this a different energy, right?
My very last question.
You good?
I'm gonna leave you alone.
You fine? You good? You okay?
Um,
You okay? I'm having fun.
Now, do y'all deal with the businesses a lot around here, right? Or no? Or that's under the mayor?
Well, it's not the mayor. What happens is whenever somebody wants to have a new business or start a new business, it goes through the planning commission
Yeah, I know all that.
before it gets to us.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm saying. As far as like businesses coming to something, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. What's up with the mall? We sick of this mall, man.
So, now honestly, the backside of the mall is in my ward, right? I don't know much about the ward as it relates to Sumter Mall and how that works. This is what I will say, and let me explain this part to us. Whenever new businesses, just had this conversation with somebody, you got to think about it this way. Whenever substantial businesses want to come to an area, they do their homework first, right? Then they have what they call, what's the medium income, right? On average, what does the average single person make annually? Then what do they make as a family? If the numbers of the medium income is not high enough, they will not come to an area.
A la that old Manning parking lot, and that old Walmart and Manning parking lot. That thing was vacant for 20-something years,
You
man.
see it? So here's my point, right? People ask me all the time, when are we going to get a Target? When are we going to get a Home Depot? When are we going to get an Olive Garden? See? Olive Garden,
that
do
was
the
my
same,
wife
same
said,
time, right?
yeah.
So let me explain this to you. There's 40-something counties in South Carolina. I think it's 46. 46 counties in South Carolina, right? Sumter right now, based on medium income, is in the top 10, right? Okay, so you got more counties in South Carolina that have less than 10,000 people in those counties, right? So our medium income for Sumter, let's just take Sumter, last year was $36,000, right? So what happens is when major companies start looking at Sumter, or even factories or industries, when they look at your area, they look at the medium income. If I bring my business there, the people there got to make enough money to support it.
So they're not even counting the fact that we got Shaw and all that.
Well, Shaw is the reason why our medium income is actually $36,000, right? So 36, because you got 10,000 people tied to that base. If you look at the retirees, it's about 47,000, right? People tied to where they came to Sumter, they were in the military, they retired, and Sumter's now their home.
That makes sense now, because if you look at the restaurants, it's more closer to Shaw.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you look at everything, hotels, all the restaurants.
Why?
It's more, because that's what.
Because they're going to get paid on the 1st
Yep.
and the 15th. What people have to understand is the medium income for us is between $36,000 and $37,000. In order for you to get to the next level, we're very, very close, right? You want to know what the next tier is? $40,000.
Oh, wow.
So when people, when the average number or the money that people are making in Sumter is 40,000 or better, you draw in the Olive Gardens, you draw in those types of things. So what do you have to do? You got to build up businesses and jobs with better pay in order for folk to make more money. And when they make more money, when Olive Garden is looking at a place, think about it now, we are the largest city between Florence and Columbia. Florence has an Olive Garden, but they pay more. Columbia
has Olive Garden.
pay more, right? You don't see it in Bishopville. You don't see it in Manning. You don't see it in Santee. You don't see it in Orangeburg. Now, but you can find an Olive Garden. Watch this now. You can find an Olive Garden in Myrtle Beach. You can find it in Greenville. You can find it in Spartanburg, Columbia, Charleston, all the bigger cities that's higher than us on the medium income poll, to where they know that the people will patronize this business and they can afford to eat there and still maintain their lifestyle. So our mall and everything is a result of the businesses not coming because the medium income is not there. Think about Florence Mall right down the street. We can get to Florence in 45 minutes. We can get to Columbia, 45 minutes. Sand Hills, Columbia, and a mall. But why did they chose to go there? The medium income.
Now, okay. How much time we got?
We got time, man. Let's go, man. How much time you got?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Talk to me.
With that being said, because I knew how hard it was for me to start my business, and there's a lot of other people trying to start businesses. Why is it so hard for the city to approve certain businesses? Like, it's a lot of people that's trying to, like, almost like like Manning Avenue, for example. You got a lot of those old buildings that some of them should have been torn down, and then you got some that's vacant, but can't get nobody in there in a lot of those spaces.
Yeah. So that's a loaded question. To be totally honest, what happens is a lot of times with certain businesses in our area, right? People, one, if somebody's starting a business, whatever type of business it is, I have not seen in my small, tenure of serving on council where a lot of businesses have gotten shut down. Now, maybe they died in the planning part before it gets to us, but most of the time when businesses come, if it's something that's going to build a community, if it's something that's going to, whatever, I could, in my tenure, what I've seen, based on what we've approved and rejected, it's been less than 5 businesses that were shot down. Oftentimes what happens to people is if they're trying to start a business, whatever the case is, location in real estate is everything. You see what I'm saying? Your business is on a certain side of town.
Perfect spot, too.
Yeah, I got lucky. But I actually wanted to start originally I wanted to go back on the other side.
Yeah, but look at how much traffic comes through here. Yeah. See, so sometimes with us and me running businesses, which is a part of who I am since the 90s, whenever you start a business, man, you can have a great idea. You can have a great idea, but most people, when they think business, they don't think business, they think hustle. They treat the business as a hustle and not a true legitimate business. So they don't, sometimes I know people right now that have been in business and the paperwork ain't never been right. I work with folk in real estate. I'm trying to get approved for a house, and these folk got money in the bank out of this world. But all their money under the table, they can't prove they got a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they don't take out no taxes.
Yeah,
they ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
So you can't think hustle. You got to think business. And if I'm going to buy a house one day, if I'm going to buy a car, all my money can't be under the mattress.
True.
So I think sometimes we don't set it up properly for it to get approved, or we don't go back and say, you know what, how do I set this up right? How do I set it up to where this thing right here, won't get rejected. And then let me make sure that for the next 12 to 18 months, I'm not flying by the seat of my pants, but I got enough reserve that if nobody come in, I can keep the doors open until I build
So
it
you
up.
build it back up.
Most of the time, businesses die in the first 3 years. Not because the idea was bad. It just wasn't set up properly from the beginning. So when you bring it before people and they shoot at it, you can't answer the questions to get it approved. See? So the reason why you've been able to be sustained for so long and do what you're doing is because at some point in time, you had to stop thinking like, I'm just doing this in my house. This is going to be how I eat from now on. You see what I'm saying? So I think if we fix the mindset and shift the business.
This episode is sponsored by Goings Law Firm. If you or your family member needs a real deal lawyer who knows how to fight hard in court, call Robert Goings and his team at the Goings Law Firm. They handle car wrecks, trucking accidents, workers' comp, and serious injury or death cases. If you want the best, you got to hire the best. Robert Goins and his law firm team know how to win and get you the money you deserve. Goins Law Firm is located at 1510 Calhoun Street, Columbia, South Carolina. Again, 1510 Calhoun Street, Columbia, South Carolina. Train So Hard University, where it's just not a movement, it's a lifestyle. You can contact myself, Excalibur Miller, on Facebook, or my Instagram, The Miller Experience, or you contact my brother, T. Miller, on Facebook, or on Instagram, Prodigal Son 36. If you're interested in being a sponsor for Shop Talk or the Miller Experience, you can contact myself, Ernest Miller, at 803-565-9752. Or you can hit me up on my email at eaenestmiller83@gmail.com. You can also make contact with my producer, Victor Wesley of Vic West Production. His telephone number is 803-225-0021. Also, his email address is vicwestp@gmail.com.
Like the young guys that would come in the barbershop and train under my license, right? These guys would come in. You making money every day. They used to watch me leave every day and go to the bank and put money in there so I can have a paper trace. You know, I got to file taxes.
You got to file taxes,
and I got to
man.
file enough
Yeah.
money unless I'm buying all my cars and houses cash. If I'm going to need a loan, I got to be able to show 2 years tax returns consistently that I've been making money. And it's a legitimate business that's registered with the state of South Carolina. I got an EIN number. I got all of those things. And when I make it legit now, and I got a paper trail, when I go to the bank to borrow money, they can see that I didn't just come up with this business last night. It's been around for a while. It's going to be around, and they can take me serious because I've done, it's not just my talent, it's my back office. It has to be legit. This podcast, the things that's
It's
happening
legit.
now,
Trust me, this on
you've
my
been
tax.
building it over time to get it to where it is, and it's creating more doors to open for you because you built it right from the beginning. If you build it right, years ago, I was trying to get a car. Kevin Conyers, he's the branch manager of the Safe Bank off of 15, off of Lewis Road. And years ago, man, I'm young. I'm making about $1,200, $1,300 a week in the barbershop. Single, no kids, you know, living the life, eating Applebee's every night, you know, doing the thing. And I went to get a car. And he would come in the barbershop sometime. And he said, I found a car I wanted, had the down payment, had everything. He's the reason I had to change how I think. He said, man, Munch, I know you cut hair. He said, well, your tax return.
I know it. But
I'm
they
quiet.
Don't know. Yeah.
He said, I know you cut hair. I sit in your chair. He said, but you ain't filed no taxes, man. He said, you got the down payment. You got money in the bank. He said, but this car you want, I want to give it to you, but I can't prove your work. He said, when I send it up to underwriting, they're going to start asking questions. And I wasn't legit. That moment, that heartbreak made me make some adjustments and started, you know, restructuring and setting myself up properly so I can. And 2 years later, all these years later, I ain't never looked back. And he been giving me loans from that point, from the 90s until today.
And see, that's game right there, because a lot of these young cats don't know that, man. They don't know that.
Let me say this respectfully. There's all type of races watching this show. And one thing about brown people, we got all kind of gifts, man. We got guys that we know right now, you can take your car over to their house and they can fix it in 2 or 3 hours. You get them a cold beer and, you know, something else they like and your car up and running.
There's a guy, I ain't put his name out, there's a guy
Didn't go to school.
Yeah, that can build you a patio. And all you got to do is buy him cases of beers.
See what I'm saying?
That's it.
But look at the skill set. This guy didn't go to school. He fixing all these cars. Now, he making $400-500 a week up on the tree at the house. The other guy down the street went to school 2 years, got certified at BMW, making $175,000 a year. Same gift. One legit and one is not. What separates what you're doing from the next man when y'all got the same gift? It's all in how you set it up. So I got guys right now, you know, all the time. Guys reach out to me, you know, the business side, they got great ideas, man. And I'm like, make it legit. I got a young man I met with this morning. He got almost $600,000-700,000 in deals sitting on the table right now with his business. The last couple of years, I was getting on him about his licenses being done. I said, if you're going to put in a bid, you got to have a certain kind of insurance. They're going to check all that before they give you the bid. He been getting everything done. Now it's flooding in on him. You know, it's coming in, man. And I'm like, you can't think hustle. You got to think business. Don't cheat yourself out of your future. Set it up right so you can eat.
You know what I think? Not hustle, but with me, what I'm building now, my mind said, I don't want my kids to work for nobody else. So I'm leaving this for them. That's why it's called the Miller experience, not the Ernest or Excalibur. It's Miller because their last name is on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want, because sometimes I have my daughter, when she's not in school, she in here help. She help video.
That's all you got to do.
Pictures and stuff. I got her learning stuff, man.
What? See,
I tell her, pay attention to Vic. See what he doing.
but here's the flip side. Even with you, our generation, think about it now. Everybody in this room, I don't even know if you saw it. Everybody in this room sitting down are entrepreneurs right now. Vic videoing. You doing this. Tattoo shop. Real estate and everything else I'm doing. We all own businesses, right? But watch this. Every last one of us had to pull it out of the dirt. From scratch. Why would I build something and then when I die, it died with me?
You're
right?
building for a legacy, man.
When somebody else, it shouldn't be that hard for the next generation. If I build it up strong enough, and I always tell my team this, you got to feed what's feeding you, right? If I have pulled it out of the dirt and had to scrape and scratch to get it to where it is, if I die and it dies with me, it's because I didn't put it in nobody else. If it's going to continue, we know people right now, not picking on anybody, but Mr. Hayes Samuels, he passed a few years ago in Manning. Legend. Fleming. Those businesses, long after they're gone, it's continuing because they gave it to the next generation. They taught them everything they knew. They poured into them in their lifetime and gave them enough game for it to continue, right? So you look at it through sports. The Lakers, Mr. Bus died. Genie Bus. Guess what? He had magic. Shaq, all these people, he died. It's still going now. We're not taught as a people legacy. We're taught to keep all the game for ourselves and die with all the secrets so you can be great by yourself. The goal is not to be great by yourself. The goal is I got to make sure I pass it on to the next generation. My boys, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm gonna create an environment to make it so attractive that you can't ignore what I'm doing. And then once you show interest, I'm gonna give you the game. I ain't gonna hold nothing back because my success is tied to your success. So what he's saying right now, if I keep my kids in this atmosphere, eventually they're gonna pick up stuff by accident. And then over time, phew,
That's how my 8-year-old is.
yeah.
He already talking about attention.
See? But that's a gift. Everybody can't wake up and just do that. They can't grab a gun and go do what you do. That's a gift, right? That's a God-given gift. But what separates you from everybody else is how you build it. And then after you build it, it's on autopilot. Now the goal is, how do I keep it going? And then guess what? They're going to eat. They're going to take it to the next level. They're going to have new ideas. They're going to do some things. And so somebody, every door that's ever opened in my life that was a major door, I promise you, somebody gave me an opportunity. Somebody saw something in me to give me an opportunity, and I had to capitalize.
And that's all we want.
That's all we
The
want.
opportunity
To be continued. So make sure you check out the next episode. And also you make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on my YouTube channel, The Mill Experience. And now we also on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Make sure you download. Peace.
Who told you being intelligent is whack? So place your bets. My faith is fresh. I'ma make it stretch. Cause I sat there eye to eye with the face of death. And you ain't putting work in unless you break a sweat. Bringing back a 4-course meal. Keep the table set. Step in my belief. I'm expressive when I